What's going on YouTube? Cloverbells here, back with another Scarlet Violet video, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of these niche Pokemon that has an interesting role and can do a lot of work when you can put it on the right team, and that Pokemon today is Braviary. So we've done a couple of these videos, right? We've spotlighted something like Serena, we've spotlighted stuff like Goodra, we even mentioned some other options a little bit like Ceruledge for that matter, but you know, again, all these Pokemon can do work when put on the right team. Maybe not as good as your top tier S or A tier options, but again, you know, when they have the right support, they can do a lot of work, right? And Braviary fits that role perfectly. So what can Braviary give you, right? So you're gonna have two types of discussions here, right? You're gonna have the Defiant discussion, right? And you're gonna be comparing this with like the Annihilape stuff and the Kingambit stuff, right? Because these are the premier Defiant Pokemon that you would have right now, and then Braviary can somewhat give you some different tools that these two can't give you, right? Then the other discussion is, how does this differ from Corviknight, right? Because you consider the stuff that Corviknight can give you, Braviary can give you also, but there's a bit of a difference between those two as well. So we're having two types of discussions here, right? So let's start over here. So with Braviary, look at let's actually start with the Corviknight comparison, all right? And then we'll talk about the Defiant stuff. So with Braviary and Corviknight, you do get access to Tailwind, okay? Same thing as Corviknight, all right? And then you also get access to Bulk Up, which we can definitely put over here, as well as Brave Bird. So right now, the sets are very, very similar to what Corviknight can give you, all right? But now the difference here is, okay, you can definitely put Protect here, and also over here, and then you can definitely do like a Leftovers or Safety Goggles set, you know, where you can just get around the Amoonguss stuff, or even just get like Passive Recovery. But like, now what does Braviary give you that Corviknight can't? Because like Corviknight has more play. Well, you look at Corviknight's stats, right? Base 98 HP, 87 attack. Look at Braviary, more HP and a way more attack, okay? And sometimes that's what can kind of hold Corviknight back a little bit, is the damage, right? And it definitely needs like Bulk Up to be able to like put pressure on the opponent. That being said, it also gets access to Iron Head, which can also put pressure on the Flutter Mane stuff. But Braviary also gets access to Iron Head for that matter too, but you don't actually need Iron Head because the Brave Bird can actually just pick up the Flutter Mane anyway because of this whopping 123 attack stat. And then if you also consider like, do you even need Bulk Up sometimes? The answer is no. You also get access to a couple of other moves like, first of all, Close Combat. So that's also good against pretty much the Ruin Pokemon in the format where you just have a super effective fighting move to KO them. So that's pretty good for yourself as well. Then you also get access to Defog, which is another interesting support move. You can clear the hazards in the terrain. So stuff like, you know, the Leech Seeds, not the Leech, the Toxic Spikes from Glimmora, you can remove that. So that has something going for it. You also get access to Facade. So this way, if you get burned or even like poisoned from the Glimmora stuff, then you have a stronger move that you can click. And again, it's a normal type, right? And that's also what you have as well. So a base 140 stab move is going to hurt a lot, right? That's going to be doing more damage than your Brave Bird, and you don't even get recoil for that matter. So you have that going for it. And, you know, when you consider going up against these Gyaradoses and Arcanines, you know, if they even consider, you know, clicking Thunder Wave or clicking, you know, the Will-O-Wisp on you, your Facades are hitting harder. Yes, you can, you know, get like hacks with the paralysis stuff, but hey, if you don't, you're going for a base 140, you know, attack that's stat bonus as well. So you have that going for you. Then you have stuff like, okay, yeah, you have Rock Slide, but then it actually gets like some other cool, interesting support moves, right? You do get access to Helping Hand. Giga Impact is interesting, but I think Facade is just a little bit better. Then you have Leer. Okay, Leer is interesting. Rock Tomb for speed control. You know, there's some stuff that you can definitely consider on Braviary, but I feel like either you go like Close Combat, Facade, or Bulk Up. These are like your top three options that, you know, besides the Tailwind, Brave Bird, Protect stuff. So you have that going for you. And because you're faster than Corviknight here, you can actually invest a little bit less in its speed, but still outspeed stuff like Dragapult at the end of the day after Tailwinds, right? So what is that speed mark? So 107 is all you need here, whereas Corviknight, if you want to be able to reach that, look how much speed you have to invest to try and outspeed Dragapult over here if you want to go to 107. Look at this. This is a crazy amount of investment. 156 investment versus only 52. So now these extra EVs can be put elsewhere into the bulk, whereas something like, you know, Corviknight can kind of compensate for that because you have a little bit more defense, but only 10 more special defense, right? And yeah, you do have a pretty good typing here, but normal flying is actually pretty good as well, right? So definitely there's some niche for Braviary over the Corviknight just because of the amount of pressure that you can put on, especially with this Facade stuff, right? And then you don't even need leftovers, right? You could just do like a safety goggles kind of thing, all right, to just get around that. And then go ahead and burn me, go ahead and para me, right? As long as I can get around a Mungus, I'm kind of fine, okay? And then, you know, again, you still have this flying immunity just like Corviknight where you can get around the Ting-Lu stuff, the Fissure spam and whatnot. And then Arcanine has a little bit of trouble against you now because he can't really burn you. And yes, he can still click Flare Blitz, but, you know, you're going to just hit relatively hard right back with, like, the Brave Bird stuff. And actually, you don't even need Protect here. You can just go for Roost. Same like with Corviknight over here. You can just go for Roost stuff. So you get a little bit more recovery over time, which is actually pretty interesting, right? So we have the Corviknight discussion and comparison. And then you consider, like, the Defiant stuff. Again, we mentioned how the Gyarados and the Arcanines are going to have a little bit of trouble against Braviary for that matter. So, like, what can Annihilape and Kingambit do? So, well, what does Braviary give you that Annihilape and Kingambit don't give you? Well, you are faster than Kingambit, that's one thing. You're not weak to the fighting move like Kingambit is, okay, which is important. There's a lot of fighting coverage right now because you need that against the Ruined Pokemon. So you have that, and of course, the flying type gives you that Ting-Lu immunity, which you don't get here with the Kingambit. Annihilape, again, Annihilape is faster than Braviary, but again, you are not weak to the Flutter Mane, right? Because Annihilape, with this fighting typing and ghost typing, is weak to the Flutter Mane, and you're forced to pretty much use your Terra, like Terra Fire here, to like be able to resist that stuff, especially against the Chi-Yu for that matter. But then, you know, Braviary, you don't need that, right? Because first of all, with this normal typing, the Shadow Ball is not going to work against you. And Moonblast is just a neutral hit, okay? And you could definitely EV this where you're taking it relatively comfortably. And then Braviary is just able to KO it, right? So, and then of course, you get access to Tailwind, which these two do not give you, right? So a little bit more speed control that you can get out of Braviary, which is actually really, really nice. And then if you consider however you want to EV this, so in terms of a spread, right? I would just go like this. I would just go Adamant first of all. And then, well, let me just remove this stuff, right? So I can definitely just do like Adamant here. 165, the first EV benchmark here. That's a little bit too low. So let's go to the next one. Let's invest another 80 EVs over here. Let's go to about 132. Yep, this is pretty good. And then what if we max its HP like this, right? And then from here, yes, I just want 1 point in defense. And then special defense, this is just like my leftover bulk. But is this enough to survive stuff like, you know, Choice Specs, Flutter Mane, Thunderbolt, or potentially like a Chi-Yu clicking Overheat? We might need to make an adjustment here. So what we're going to do is go into the damage calculator. Okay, we're going to plug in Braviary, which I already have over here. All right, and we're going to put in 252 HP. Okay, and let's take a look at Flutter Mane first, right? The Choice Specs Thunderbolt stuff is interesting. So here we'll put regular Thunderbolt on this side over here. And now we'll match up and see how much damage it is. All right, so 64 to 73%, so 76, but then we'll put the Choice Specs here. Okay, and how much investment did I put? 68, right? So is this enough? Okay, all right, almost, right? So 25. So let me show you a little bit of a trick that you can do where you can definitely get this calc, but not have to, you know, take away your attack EVs. So it turns out, because of the way how Pokemon works in terms of like EVs, if you can put more special defense as opposed to, you know, dropping your HP, you're going to get a little bit more value and more bulk, and then you can get the calc that you want. So let me show you how this works. I'm going to keep dropping the HP, and then for every HP that I drop, I'm going to increase the special defense by that same amount, right? And then from there, you'll see how this Thunderbolt damage goes down. All right, so we'll just do it like this. Okay, see how I'm already down to 18, and I'm going to keep doing this maybe about like until I can get 6.3. I think 6.3 is a relatively safe number. See, look, I'm already down to 12.5. Yep, getting there. I think this one will do it, actually. Yep, and it does, right? So that's how you can optimize your EVs, right? And remember, we did like a whole video on how to like optimize EV spread. So this is actually how you do it and get the calc that you want. So what I'm going to do is drop this to 204, still good bulk, and then put this to 116. And this is my Braviary spread, right? So right now, I can definitely live the Thunderbolt stuff. And then let me check about the Chi-Yu stuff, because, you know, Chi-Yu can also blow something up with the overheat stuff. So I just want to check that, you know, because, and then, you know, Beads of Ruin is just a big hitting damage. Let's do 252 Timid. Okay, they don't really run choice specs, so I'm just gonna click Overheat here. All right, and luckily enough, this actually helps me survive anyway. So it's just like a little bit of a coincidence, right? So 98.5, so I'm definitely gonna be able to live, okay, which is important, and then get off a potential Tailwind or maybe a potential attack, right? So this is it. So then what would this spread do finally in conclusion? Basically, you outspeed Dragapult after Tailwind. You're able to survive Choice Specs, Flutter Mane, Thunderbolt. You can survive an Overheat. You hit the attack bump here with this 132 investment, the second benchmark, I would say. And then again, of course, you have the 204 HP, which we optimize with Special Defense to get that damage calc that we want. All right. So now what we're going to do, let's look at some of these tournament teams that we did see from Fort Wayne and a recent tournament and see how Braviary was used. Okay, so the first one was from Fort Wayne, right? And basically, this is a very, very interesting team, right? 37th place from Mr. Suit over here with a crazy team like this, man. When I saw this, I was like, did this person bring his in-game team, like the one that you played through the story to finish the game and beat the game? And I was like, oh my goodness, this is like Sheer Force Braviary with like Brave Bird, Close Combat Body Slam. So then Sheer Force Life Orb. This thing is doing so much damage, okay? Like, I'm shocked that I saw this, but then I saw a little bit more of a standard team that uses the Defiant Braviary. So this is over here. This was like another one of those online tournaments in preparation for regulationC and, you know, EUIC. This is from a few days ago. The Braviary did get first place. It's a very, very small tournament, of course, right? Not too many people here, but all things considered, Braviary in this top slot with safety goggles, yep, makes a lot of sense. With Facade, right? So if you want to try and burn this thing, you're just going to make it do more damage. So, you know, you might not even bring the Arcanine in certain matchups, right? And then the Gyarados also can, you know, boost up this Braviary. So you might have second thoughts in bringing that for that matter, right? But again, Brave Bird Tailwind is relatively standard, and this is actually a pretty interesting team, right? Of course, we did talk about Serena before. Here's the Tyranitar sub with weakness policy. That's crazy. Is this Aqua Jet? Oh my goodness. All right, so this was an interesting team that went 5-1. Braviary taking home the gold in this rather small tournament. But if I had to do a little bit of a team building, I would do something like this again. Tailwind, Brave Bird, Facade is the way to go with Roost, okay? And then what I would do from here is actually just go relatively standard and just imagine what would I build around Corviknight and more or less use the same idea, because Braviary can kind of fill that Corviknight role as well as like that Defiant Kingambit stuff. So here's what I would do. Let's take a look. So I'll start here with a pretty strong dragon type that a lot of people know and love. That is Garchomp over here. So again, kind of like with Garchomp being next to Braviary, you can just click Earthquake, right? And that's also relatively standard. It has good synergy over there, and this way, if you want to intimidate the Garchomp, you're going to give Braviary the Defiant boost. You get access to Tailwind. You can make Garchomp faster than the Chi-Yu Flutter Mane stuff. So you have that going for you. And then from there, I would just keep like the same kind of core. The only thing I would do is just something like this, where you have, yes, you have Earthquake. But then from here, I would put Iron Head as your steel move coverage for, you know, that, and give you that Terra Steel option against like the Flutter Mane stuff. For that matter. So Earthquake, Iron Head is the way to go. I would probably just put Stomping Tantrum over here and then Protect. And then from here, you can even just do like a Clear Amulet set. All right, or you can even put like a Life Orb set. It really all depends on you. I'll put Life Orb for now, but you know, this is the way I would do it. Then from here, of course, the Flutter Mane. So you have this Dragon Fairy Steel Core, you know, with the Dragonite, the Garchomp fulfilling two types of roles here. And from here, I'll put Chi-Yu. Okay, here's your fire type. So now let's go for that Fire, Water, Grass core. Gyarados comes because we have the Chi-Yu, so we still want to keep Intimidate on the team. A little bit of synergy with Garchomp as well. So another target that you can Earthquake next to. And then for your grass coverage, you could just do something like an Amoonguss, and then, you know, give you that redirection support. Be able to, you know, just keep your Pokemon safe, and, you know, where you can just click moves and not have to worry about them being hurt. So I would just do something like this, right? You can definitely see Corviknight being on a core like this. All right, but instead we have the Braviary, and again, just a relatively standard set like this, right? So from here, I would just do like Booster Energy, you know, just something like Moonblast, Shadow Ball, against like another Gyarados, probably like Thunderbolt over here, and then Protect. All right, if you want, you can definitely do like a Choice Spec set over here. right, where you still have Thunderbolt, Moonblast, Shadow, and then Dazzling Gleam for your spread move. You could definitely consider that. Otherwise, Booster Energy with Protect is very, very standard. And then over here, if anything, you can definitely put like, so if you do clear Emulate here, I would definitely put like a little bit more offense on my Chi-Yu, right? Just make these two like do a bunch of hurt, right? And that's what I'm gonna call it. Heat Wave, Dark Pulse, Overheat, Protect, something like that. Gyarados, make it more supportive. I would do Citrus Barrier over here. And then the Amoonguss, which actually will get Rocky Helmet, right? Rocky Helmet's pretty good now. You can break the Sash on the Chien-Paos, and you can break Dragonite Multiscale, so that's also very, very nice. Then from here, you know, just like Waterfall, another more speed control move with Thunder Wave. You can get Taunt, and then you can get Protect over here, right? And then if you want, you can actually make the Gyarados Terra Steel, all right, and actually put Iron Head over here for that matter. I almost forgot about that. And then the Garchomp, you could actually go Terra Fire now, and then make this be able to do relatively well against an opposing Flutter Mane Chi-Yu, because they can't click your Fire move, they can't click their Fairy move, and you can't burn the Garchomp either, right? So you can definitely do that, and then just go like with the regular Dragon Claw over here, you know, as your Dragon Stab. Okay, and then from here, yeah, so I would just do something like this, and then the Amoonguss here, Rage Powder, Clear Smog, well, I'm sorry, Rage Powder, Spore, okay, Clear Smog, and then what's the other move? Pollen Puff, right? So, you know, the Clear Smog stuff is, you know, pretty good into the Dondozo stuff. It gives you something for it, at the very least. You can also Clear Smog, you know, an opposing Intimidate stuff, or something with Haze. Does Gyarados get Haze, actually? Let me take a look at that. Does he get Haze? He does not get Haze. That's okay. But Amoonguss, again, you know, you still have the Clear Smog stuff. And then again, Gyarados needs the Taunt, because an opposing Amoonguss is relatively annoying, so yeah. So yeah, I would just do something like this, right? We still have Dragon, Fairy, Steel, with the Gyarados being the Steel type, Fire, Water, Grass with the Chi-Yu, Gyarados, Flutter Mane stuff. Chi-Yu, Gyarados, Amoonguss is what I meant. And then here's your Braviary, your lone normal type with Defiant, Tailwind, Brave Bird, Facade, Roost. I would do something like this. And then just like a relatively standard spread here, where you can just do, you know, max speed Garchomp, you know, max attack. We don't have a Life Orb over here, so we'll just keep it like that. Flutter Mane here, choice specs, Modest, of course. You can definitely do something like this where you're outspeeding an opposing Garchomp, right? You know, you can speed creep them, do something like this. But actually, because some Flutter Manes are just doing this already, what you want to do is maybe just outspeed them. You can even do this where you go to 175 to outspeed an opposing Dondozo, Adamant 252. But you can also just go relatively faster like this. So this way, when you're playing a best of 3 tournament, if they do outspeed you, it's either one, a speed tie, or they're probably timid. All right. Then you can just do the second benchmark here with the EVs. Go to 187. Again, if you don't know what EV bumps are, feel free to comment in the comment section and ask me what EV bumps are. If you're trying to play competitive Pokemon, you got to know what EV bumps are. I've gotten this question many, many times. Not too many people know about them. So if you don't know, feel free to ask. I'll explain it to you. 1 point in special defense, and then from here, you know, you just put the rest into something like this. This is pretty good against the Palafin Jet Punch stuff. I think it was actually like this, right? No, this was it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, right here. Okay, so Mystic Water, Jet Punch, you can live that. If you want a little bit more investment, you can definitely drop some of the speed and some of the special attack and put more in the HP and defense. You could make it even more bulkier, but I feel like this spread is fine as it is right now in the current meta. This thing, this is what we used on our Snow team. So we're just gonna do this. Optimize a little bit of bulk here for the Life Orb chip. Again, you always want to end in a 9 if you have the Life Orb, and then just go ahead and put more into special attack like this. The Gyarados here, I like max speed over here. This works out relatively fine because of the Citrus Berry stuff. You can definitely do Impish, get a little bit more defense out of this. You can definitely also go to 107. Is this it? Okay, so just to avoid your speed tying, let's go like 108 over here. So maybe you can drop this a little bit. All right, you'll lose your calc, but actually, no, I think this is okay. Here, we'll make the Gyarados a little bit faster. It's totally fine. No, I think I want him at 107. Let's put him at 108. Okay, so let's do this. All right, so Gyarados here, you're 107. No speed tie your Braviary. You could also technically just do this, 106. This is definitely more than enough to outspeed the bundle, which is all you really care about. You know, if you don't outspeed Dragon Ball, it's not a huge deal with Gyarados. You have more than enough for that. But yeah, 106 is okay. Then you can just go like right here, you know, just for the impish stuff. All right, and then the rest can just go into special defense like this. But actually, you can even do this, right? 156 for that mark right here, 164, and then the rest can just go into special defense like this. All right, but if you're afraid for like Flutter Mane Thunderbolt stuff, then, you know, I think you can go a little bit more like this. But again, you're Terra Steel, so this is actually just more than enough as it is for a Gyarados spread. Okay, and again, you're just meant to outspeed the bundle stuff, you know, with the Tailwind shenanigans. All right, 106. Actually, you outspeed pretty much everything besides your Dragapult over there. The Among Us right here, I would just go 236 investment. Again, this will optimize for the regenerator. You could definitely go relaxed over here. You don't really need that much speed. You know, you just want to be slow and bulky in the Trick Room stuff. 156 investment, again, that second benchmark, and then the rest just goes into special defense like this. Okay, so Terra options, Terra Water here would be ideal, you know, just to resist the Arcanine stuff, make flying type attacks neutral. Gyarados, we mentioned it would be Terra Steel. Chi-Yu, I like Terra Ghost just in case they want to click a fighting move on you. You could definitely do that. Or what's even more interesting is you can do like Terra Blast, Terra Grass Chi-Yu, so you can snipe potential Palafins for that matter. But because you have Thunderbolt over here, that's also fine. All right, this is going to be Terra Fairy, a little bit more damage. We mentioned the Garchomp with Terra Fire, and then Braviary just stays as it is, right? So pretty much it. You know, we did a little bit of a quick EV spread, a quick team building over here. But hey, if there was a team where I had to make a team around Braviary, I would just do this, right? So you got your Intimidate, you got your Redirection, you have Speed Control with Tailwind and Thunder Wave. You have Taunt stuff. You have some tech moves against some certain meta threats. You have status inflictions, again, with the Thunder Wave and the Spore. So all in all, I think it's a relatively solid and consistent team. You can definitely win a lot of ladder games with this. And again, if you're interested in using Braviary, you know, definitely consider something like this. Otherwise, you can just put a Corviknight on something like this and then change some of your tech options right here. You don't have to put Iron Head on Gyarados anymore. You could do like Helping Hand just to make Garchomp do a little bit more damage. But yeah, overall, let me know what you think of Braviary. Let me know if you have a different niche for it on your kind of team. If you've been using it, let me know how you've been using it. And again, if you want to build a team like this, where I show you how to do all the EV spreads, again, sign up for coaching. We got a couple regionals coming up after EUIC this upcoming weekend. So the meta is going to change again, right? I'm sure. And then from there, of course, people are going to be using the data from EUIC and then start building for Portland, Hartford, all these regionals that are coming up afterwards. So if you want to schedule a session with me to prepare for that, definitely consider that. With the tier 3 sub option to the channel, if you check the video description and the comments section below, there is a link where you can click and you can sign up with the tier 3 sub, you know, just to help you prepare. And then from there, you can message me on Discord, and then we coordinate a session with a one-on-one Discord call. And then, you know, we get you that team that you need to be able to compete at these regionals. All right, so that's going to do it for now, folks. We'll be back with another video in the next one. Peace out and have a good one.